Lesson 14. The Royal Children. Marie-Therese. Marie-Therese Charlotte of France, also known as Marie-Therese, Madame Royale, was born on December 19, 1778, in Versailles, France. She was the firstborn daughter of King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette. Marie-Therese's early years were spent in the opulent palace of Versailles, where she lived a privileged life as a princess. However, her childhood was overshadowed by the political turmoil and unrest that would eventually lead to the French Revolution. In 1789, when Marie-Therese was just 10 years old, the revolution erupted and her family's life was turned upside down. The royal family was forced to leave Versailles and eventually imprisoned in the Temple Tower in Paris. During her time in captivity, Marie-Therese endured a great hardships and lived through the execution of her parents. She was separated from her younger brother Louis-Charles, who died in captivity in 1795. Marie-Therese was the only surviving member of her immediate family. Other than her father, she was not told the fate of any members of her family during her incarceration. In 1795, Marie-Therese was released from prison and sent to Austria, her mother's homeland, where she was reunited with her extended family. She lived in exile for several years, but her life took a positive turn when she married her cousin Louis Antoine, Duke of Angoulême, in 1799. Marie-Therese and her husband lived in various European countries during their exile, including England, Russia and Italy. They were active participants in the royalist cause, hoping to restore the Bourbon monarchy in France. After the fall of Napoleon Bonaparte in 1814, Marie-Therese and her husband returned to France. Her father's brother, Louis XVIII, was restored to the throne, and Marie-Therese became known as Madame Royale, the title given to the eldest daughter of the king. Marie-Therese and her husband had no children, and she outlived her husband by several decades. After the death of her uncle, Louis XVIII, in 1824, her cousin Charles X ascended to the throne. Marie-Therese continued to play a prominent role in the royal court and was known for her piety and charitable works. However, her time as Madame Royale was short-lived. The July Revolution of 1830 led to an overthrowing of the Bourbon monarchy for good, and Marie-Therese once again went into exile, this time to England. Marie-Therese spent the rest of her life in England, where she lived a relatively quiet and secluded existence. She died on October 19, 1851, at the age of 72. Marie-Therese's life was marked by tragedy and upheaval, but she also demonstrated resilience and strength in the face of adversity. As the only surviving child of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, she carried the weight of her family's legacy and the memory of the French Revolution. Louis-Charles. Louis-Charles was also known as Louis XVII, was born on March 27, 1785, in Versailles, France. He was the second son of King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette. During his time in captivity, Louis-Charles endured great hardships but survived the execution of both his parents. He was separated from his sister Marie-Therese and subjected to harsh treatment by his jailers. Louis-Charles's health deteriorated during his captivity, and he suffered from various illnesses, including tuberculosis. He is also subjected to intense psychological and physical abuse, which further weakened his fragile condition. In 1795, Louis-Charles' health took a turn for the worse, and he died on June 8, 1795, at the age of just 10. The exact cause of death is still a subject of debate, with some theories suggesting he was poisoned or died as a result of his mistreatment in captivity, and others concluding that he succumbed to the tuberculosis. Louis-Charles' death marked the end of the direct Bourbon line, as his elder brother Louis-Joseph had died in 1789. His death also symbolised the tragic fate of the royal family and the devastating impact of the French Revolution. Louis-Charles's short life was marked by tragedy and suffering. He was a victim of political turmoil and violence that engulfed France during the Revolution. His story serves as a reminder of the human costs of political upheaval and the vulnerability of children caught in the midst of historical events.